Perché poi, siccome ho le cuffie wireless, io sono in ritardo, quindi dovrei stare in anticipo. Ci provo, aspetta. No, non c'è. Impossibile. No, è terribile. Aspetta, ci devo provare, ci devo provare. Dai, 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 qua, ci siamo quasi. No, non ce la fa, è impossibile. È impossibile. Sì, Melody giudicami, hai ragione. Hello. Dai. Oh! Ciao. Ciao Rick. Oggi siamo blessati alla catcam, che è qui. Il letto è un casino perché mi sono arrivati dei vestiti nuovi e quindi sono tutti sul letto. E lì invece c'è il Mac dove ho uno stream di Overwatch 2 in background per grindare le 4 ore per avere il drop dell'accesso alla beta di Overwatch 2. Cringe. Cringe. Notevole cringe. Giovedì 28 aprile, Domani, ok. Don't care. Quindi io in teoria alle 11 avrò accesso alla beta di Overwatch 2. Insieme a tipo 10.000 persone. Ti ho visto che sicuro è giusto qualche aiuto perché vorrei giocarmelo anch'io. Va bene, fai il cazzo che ti pare. E io direi che passiamo subito al gioco in realtà. Fai Ugaz che ti pare. Anche se da quanto ho capito, il new content ci metti tipo 1 ora e mezza a raggiungerlo. Una roba del genere. Però non è detto neanche che sia vera questa cosa. Pribim. Allora, adesso sarà un casino con l'audio, ovviamente. Sarà ovviamente un casino con l'audio. The Stanley Parable, vai in game, grazie. Non si vede giustamente perché cattura. No. No, perché no? Qua lo vedi? Qua lo vedi. Cattura gioco funziona? Yes. Ah, però è tutto spostato. Senti, io la chat la tolgo. Per me è tutto new content, non ricordo una mazza. Questo è grave. What? Sono molto confuso, scusate. Ok. Perché non era centrato. Perfetto. Allora, ce lo facciamo con i sottotitoli in italiano. Sì, sì, non era centrato perché era un po' tagliato, non so perché. Eh sì. Vabbè, questo non lo faremo perché sennò poi su Twitch è un casino. Ok. Sono le 20 e 45, però tra poco 46, quindi aspettiamo 46. Perché questa cosa gliela devo mettere io e non può prenderla dal computer? Melos che succede? Dai. Dai. Nota. L'impostazione va bene. Ripeto, poi per il volume vediamo che succede. Vuoi guardare la live di Overwatch? Sì. No! No! Bastarda. Melody. Camminata con una mano? No. Bella la risoluzione. Ok. Audio in realtà deve essere un pelo. In particolare gli effetti sonori sono altini. Ti sei calmata? Voleva solo mettersi sulla giacca nuova. Ok. No, cioè, questa cosa è terrificante. Camminata con una mano è da masochisti. Che emozione, finalmente. Guarda, che c'è il computer nel computer. The end is never. No,
This
che
is the
non
story
sa.
of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in. As
Mia
though he
madre
had
che è
been
entrata
made
per chiedermi,
exactly
per dirmi
for
che
this
non
job.
funzionava il telecomando del televisore
Stanley
perché era quello del televisore
was happy.
sbagliato.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Allora, abbassiamo un altro po' tutto e
This is
abbassiamo
the
un po'
story of a man named...
Vai, parla.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Ma sì, così va bene. E in Unity, l'originale era in Source Engine, parliamone, perché nasce come mod Ah, perché sta facendo tearing? Togliamo il V-Sync. Di Half-Life 2, sì. No, lo sto facendo ancora. Da voi. Intanto sto prendendo achievement, tra cui non poter saltare. Facciamo una roba. Mi metto lo schermo a 60 Hz, così almeno sono sicuro. Dove si cambiava? Qua? No. Modifica la risoluzione. Dico così almeno sono sicuro. Lo sono già? No, allora proviamo a rimetterlo a 240. Potrebbe esplodere tutto. 240. Ok, meglio. Live va bene? Sì. Da me non tera. Ok. Forse dai, possiamo dare un pelo più di volume, perché tanto ora abbiamo abbassato il narratore. Io ho giocato alla mod e anche questo, cioè l'originale, vabbè.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I hate Mondays. Ma è fluido in live? Mi puoi dare questo feedback? Perché, boh, non mi sembra tanto fluido in live. Sembra di sì, ok. Allora probabilmente è OBS che me lo fa sembrare meno fluido. Allora, anche tu, anche a te sembra che qualcosa non vada. È un po' chonky. Da me è fluido, senza problemi. Però su OBS lo vedo che è un po' tentenna. Provo a ritogliere il V-Sync. Boh. Perché da me è perfetto. Da me è proprio perfetto. Speriamo. Allora, dicevo che io questa prima run...
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a
Bastardo.
door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. You
Bastardo!
can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Nell'originale c'era un achievement se premevi 5 volte la porta a 430. Vediamo.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still
No! Che
I want this achievement to
palle!
have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Va bene. Però dopo, dicevo, per questa run, che è la prima, io direi di seguire quello che ci dice di fare il narratore. E non... No, 20.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
E dov'è la porta 437? Qua? No? Tra l'altro... Ah, sì.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Ok. Ok.
Now, back to door number
Vai,
437.
torniamo. E dov'era? Chi se lo ricorda?
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine.
Eccola.
All right, back to room 417. I'm
17.
really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Ma subito questa cosa? Non posso. Non si può.
Yes!
Ok.
This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley.
Dai!
I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
Non so dove sia. Qua? Vai.
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
Ce n'è una qua? No? No, comunque ora mi devo rimettere il monitor.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
Che cazzo di paura. Sono cagato. Però ora statela. Ok. No, perché alcune cose che se le metto a 2,40. Ah, è vero, posso spegnere i computer. Se le metto a 2,40 mi fa come del ghosting. Quindi vabbè. Alcune cose, tipo anche Sea of Thieves me lo faceva. Lo dovevo mettere a 120. Dicevamo che per questa run faremo le cose come ce le dice il narratore.
Doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ok.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling
Io
a wave
sono
of disbelief,
onestamente
Stanley decided to
emozionato.
go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
No, non ho mai giocato a Bioshock.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Però so che è bello. Semplicemente non ho mai avuto l'occasione di giocarci. Chi se la ricorda la password?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret
Me lo dice
number.
lui.
2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Mamma mia. Però i caricamenti nel 2022 no.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
ricordavo questa cosa.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large
Ma
door that
subito?
read Mind Control Facility.
Ah. Così poco, mi ricordavo ci si mettesse di più.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Cazzo, che bello! Non ci posso credere che stai rigiocando Stanley Parable.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced
Cazzo,
to
la
images
prima
on a
volta
screen.
questa
And
scena.
Stanley, one of them,
Questa
eternally
scena la
monitored
prima
in this
volta era
place
stato
where freedom meant
magico.
nothing.
Quello fai, il licenziato, quello è buggato. Un altro licenziato. Vediamo se ci sono altre cose carine. No, basta. No, quello è lo stesso.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Mai.
It was unthinkable.
Mai.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Mai e poi mai.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
E qui non c'era...
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beh, gioco finito, ciao. Ocean Man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. No, dai. Però ho avuto l'achievement, finisci il gioco. Oh, qua potevo fare roba, mi pare. No. Va bene, quindi vediamo che succede.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Allora, cosa
Stanley
possiamo
decided to go to the
fare?
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Cosa possiamo fare? Andare a destra. Oppure, perché ora ci sono talmente tante cose.
When Stanley came to a set of two
Io
open
direi che...
doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, perché... Ah, andiamo a sinistra. Il broom closet lo facciamo un'altra volta, perché è lungo.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Allora, se mi ricordo male, lui si incazza se metto il codice prima.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings. Desperate for Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Oddio, sto male. Rilassante musica. Vado a controllare Overwatch. Scusa. Ciao, sono qui.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
52% Overwatch. 52%. Ci siamo quasi. Ci siamo quasi. Ecco. Ok. Allora, io direi che adesso... se n'è andato, Melos! No. Facciamo escape. Io direi che potrei fare...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door of
How
the
about
red mind
no?
control facility.
Anzi, no, andiamo qua. E accendo il coso.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What
belli,
horrible
belli,
secret
belli.
did this
Posso
place
buttare.
hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you.
Sì,
I'm
dammi
here to
tutto
make
il
it seem
content.
like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are.
Io sono
We call
speciale.
this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility.
Sto
Jumped
malissimo.
on the catwalk, you should have been careful, you should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending, now it's an ending. I believe in you, I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Bellissimo. Bravi! Bravi! Sì! Era davvero un finale!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go
Allora,
to the meeting room.
torniamo a
Perhaps
fare
it's
quello che
famous
dovevamo fare prima. Torniamo a fare quello che dovevamo fare prima.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oddio, sto malissimo. Che cazzo di capolavoro che è
Yet
questo
there was
gioco.
not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Questo non me lo ricordavo. Quella parte, questa cosa che dice, dai, vabbè, sappiamo già come va, non me la ricordavo. Ok.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Allora, io voglio fare tutto qua, normalmente. Poi alla fine...
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television
Può cadere
screens.
anche qua.
What horrible
Però
secret
puoi
did this
salire
place
sulla
hold?
sedia, ok.
Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Voglio premere il pulsante on alla fine, che in teoria dovrebbe essere diverso.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building,
Spazia.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them,
Poi lì mi sa si
eternally
può
monitored in
arrivare
this place
da
where
sopra.
freedom meant nothing.
Sono abbastanza sicuro.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Aspetta un attimo. Perché sono in un gruppo in cui stiamo discutendo dei drop di
He
Twitch.
refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Quindi
Here was the
dicevo
proof, the heart of the operation.
che voglio andare qua e premere
labeled with
on.
emotions, happy or sad or content,
Perché è vero,
walking,
c'era sta cosa dei
eating,
numeri,
working,
Madonna.
all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After
mi sa
they
di
kept you
sì.
enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you
Esatto,
wanted?
sì.
Control?
Sì, control, come il gioco.
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification,
Oh no!
nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say,
1 minuto.
2 minutes.
2, ok.
Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me.
Ma era viola!
Where we're going. What all this means. I barely know where to start.
Dov'è il 4?
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them.
No.
I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you is quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything.
È bello, anche se per ora ho fatto solo content vecchio. O meglio, ho fatto solo una cosa segreta, ma molto banale.
Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
No.
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world that
tragedia.
But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
No,
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life?
È la fine.
Or will you let it go
È la fine.
Another
È la fine.
choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever up.
Vabbè. Vabbè.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nice.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Esatto, cosa significa nuovi contenuti? Stiamo andando verso nuovi contenuti.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable
58.
Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Sì.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Non ho parole.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling
Sì.
new Ultra Deluxe content.
Anche io. Quindi ora giochi di nuovo tutto, ti fanno giocare... No,
Nothing
boh,
special
non
yet,
capisco.
but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Ma tecnicamente io il gioco Ota l'ho già finito. Cioè, no.
Is it broken? What's going on here?
Devo solo trovare i
Should
finali,
we be
capito?
moving somewhere or,
Io l'ho già
oh,
finito
there we go.
circa
All right, finally,
20
at
minuti
long
così,
last,
20
it's
minuti
on to
fa.
the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Ti prego, se c'è content vecchio rido per sempre.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious.
Sì.
It's as if oh, okay.
Il
Let's
content,
see the
il
content. Give me the
Ah,
content,
vedere il content,
Stanley.
il content. Il content.
All right, let's see, it's the jump circle.
Mi stai dicendo che qui dentro posso saltare? Io sto malissimo. L'hai fatto perfetto! L'hai fatto perfetto! Oh no, sì, quella situazione si ripete. Raga, hanno messo un tavolo a perché si stupirsi per cazzate che solo se hai giocato quel gioco puoi esserne entusiasta. Esatto. No, non posso più saltare perché li ho finiti. No. Va bene. Altro content. Altro content.
Is that it?
Sì,
Surely
purtroppo
that's
sì.
not all the new content.
Dai,
There has to be
dai, altro
something else,
content.
right?
Ah, un altro ascensore, ok. Va bene.
Goodness.
Bello questo DLC per me, ok. Che poi non è un DLC, è proprio un altro gioco in
Initial
realtà.
impressions
Quindi...
of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could
Però
just read you the whole
scontato se
dictionary.
hai
There's 20
l'originale.
hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30
Sì, ha dentro lo
You could
Stanley
put that
Parable
on the box.
normale,
The
però è
Stanley Parable
espanso, cioè non è,
Ultra Deluxe,
non è che
now with over 1,000
compri il DLC
hours
di
of
un
new
gioco, è
content.
comunque
And
una nuova
wait,
versione.
there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had
Poi
to be
comunque in
something
realtà
else.
ho
Let's see.
notato anche facendo
ready for
2
whatever
run
it is.
normali, diciamo, di cose di vecchio content. Nota, io ho comprato un gioco, non è nuova partita. È un gioco diverso questo. Cioè, è una remaster. Su Steam lo devi comprare in un posto, a un altro nome. Cioè, non è un aggiornamento del gioco originale, è un altro gioco perché è stato completamente ricostruito. Hanno cambiato il motore grafico, tutte quelle cose là. Però sì, io ho fatto una nuova partita. E poi succedono le cose che succedono.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley?
Poi io non so tu quanto conosci Stanley Parable, ma essenzialmente ogni volta che c'è un finale ricominci subito la partita. Quindi ogni volta vai per trovare un nuovo finale, capito? No, cioè semplicemente non all'inizio del gioco, quando lo apri la prima volta, ti chiede scusa, devo ascoltare. Ti chiede se hai mai giocato all'originale. E io presumo che se gli dici di no, questa cosa esca dopo. Ma comunque, per dire, io adesso comunque non voglio fare troppe cose nuove. Io vorrei fare le cose normali per ricordarle. Una in particolare vorrei recuperare. Vedi, ad esempio, questo è un finale. Credo. No, non è un finale, ok. Cioè, il gioco inizia quando sei nella tua stanza e fa This is a story. E questo è l'ufficio classico. Però sì, diciamo, comunque, in effetti, da come è stato proposto, è un po' una remastered, un po' un remake e un po' un sequel, tutto insieme. La figata è quella. Però
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Però se non hai mai giocato, puoi tranquillamente andare con questo. Confinante. Aia.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be.
Vero,
so I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
No, vabbè. Oh, vabbè, il 2013.
Doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then,
no.
video games had integrity.
The Last of Us.
Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
2013. Ora fa schifo per scattare lì sotto Stanley Parable del 2013. Originale. Perché Stanley Parable originale in realtà non è l'originale, perché l'originale è una mod di Half-Life 2. E poi avevano fatto il remake di The Stanley Parable. Smiley così. Oddio, sto malissimo. New video game releasing today. Creators representing the design. Quello è un finale, quello è spoiler. Sta le parabole. Sto malissimo. Che bello, mi posso sedere? No.
Je suis dans la memory zone.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like the stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created.
Oddio.
Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever
Destructoid,
created. That's how
vabbè.
grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now
Tutti.
it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Oh, giù cosa c'è? No, la memoria dei ricordi. Questo è quello originale. Le porte, spoiler, spoiler, che sono tutti spoiler. Forse oh, carina. Ok, la recensione.
Here's another moving
Source
passage, this time
engine.
from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable,
9
surprising and
però non ha
rewarding choices
bad.
I've ever been confronted
The
with in
good,
a game.
the bad
9
non
out
ne
of
ha.
10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the
Oddio,
rest
sto
of time
male.
collecting dust in the hallowed
Sto
hall
malissimo.
of beloved video games.
Robadi, è il new content. Ciao comunque. Questo è il new content. Sono i nuovi contenuti della Ultra Deluxe. Come ci vado là? Io voglio andare là. Voglio andare nella stanza seria. È il vero new content, esatto. Chiuso, non ci
These were
passo.
simpler times, Stanley.
Non ci passo.
What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Anche... E allora è il parkour, potessi saltare. Ok, si è aperta la memory
Wait.
room.
Hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
No, neanche io.
What's this? What's down here?
Cosa c'è qui sotto? Sì!
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years.
Le
I can't even imagine
recensioni!
what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh mamma mia, ti prego.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny.
No!
I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley
Quante?
Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine
No,
where I'd have the
vabbè.
room to stick them.
Non ci posso credere. Oh mamma mia. Comunque, dopo questo voglio fare un 8 mega plays Stanley e
Well, the
decide
idea for
lui
the
dove
game is
dobbiamo
good.
andare.
For someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy?
2016,
Stanley,
quindi un
I'm
sacco
not
dopo.
preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I
Peotta.
always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Oh, un'altra.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the
Mentre
narrator can
cre-
catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip
No,
button.
no, nessuno skip button.
A skip button?
No.
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm
No.
truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall
Ma io
have.
non lo voglio lo skip button. No, non
And
lo
here it
voglio.
is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll
Io
pop you
voglio
forward in time
ascoltarti.
so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button,
No.
you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling
Ma io
on
li
and
voglio
on and on.
ascoltare
No,
i tuoi
no, no.
sproloqui.
The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few
Per
minutes.
pochi
but it was
minuti.
plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal... Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really true. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that...
Sto tizio.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all.
Ci vediamo
but
tra l'anno
regret for
schipati
the
ora.
longest time, Stanley. Days, months.
È morto. Tra l'altro non c'è più la porta qua. È morto. Si è pure rotto l'orologio. No. Chi è? Chi è? Chi è? Che cosa terribile.
But they didn't understand
Ancora
the
5
game was
No!
never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review.
Niente? Niente? Oh no. Oh no.
The end is never the end. The end is never the end. Is never the end. Is never the end.
Questa è la scritta che appare sotto, è lo slogan del gioco. The end is never the end.
Is never the end. Is never the
Bellissimo. Tra l'altro anche lui ci sta mettendo sempre di più a riattivare. E la paga. sono incastrato. Dai. Cosa può andare storto? Assolutamente niente può andare storto. Pazzesco. Qua sono passati tipo 15 anni. Oh no, è morto tutto. Madonna, sempre peggio. Freedom! O si può skippare un'altra volta? No, non si può più skippare. Pazzesco. Incredibile. Incredibile. Ah no, questo. Ah, carino questo. Niente, non so perché ho aperto le impostazioni. Allora, 8 megahertz. 8 megahertz. Tu ora mi dirai le cose da fare, ok? Quando ci sarà una scelta, hai la giustizia.
What
No.
could it mean?
Va bene,
Stanley
allora
decided to
faccio i
go to the
fatti
meeting
miei.
room. Perhaps he had
Mi
simply
faccio i
missed a
fatti
memo.
miei. Allora, facciamo la cosa facciamo del content normale da far vedere a Otta.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ma sai che invece no, andiamo a destra?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room. and
No, t'hai
Stanley
detto
knew
che
it
la
perfectly
giustifica.
well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by
No.
the employee lounge first. Just
Sarà
to admire it.
relax, che bella, sarà relax. Sì.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know
Sto
how
cercando
to
di
convince
fare
you
un
of this,
finale
but I really
specifico
do
che
want to
spero
help you,
fosse
to show you
così.
something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Povero narratore.
Now listen
Sì.
carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
No.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to
Sì.
find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place.
Ma in che senso?
Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I'd written out
no.
specifically for you?
No.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because
Hai
I
ragione,
did.
hai ragione.
And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you
Dai,
want to see?
decidiamo.
Vehicles?
Come
Skill
sarebbe
trees?
potuto essere
Work with
meglio?
me. You've given me absolutely
le abilità
nothing so
fighe.
far. Tell you what. Let me take
Dai,
a
un
stab
nuovo
in the dark
design.
at a new design, and you can
Va
give me some
bene.
feedback.
Va bene.
There we go. A third option.
Oh,
This already
pazzesco.
feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley.
Pazzesco.
Take it for a spin.
Incredibile.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there.
Che
Now,
voto gli diamo
tell
a
me
questa
about your
nuova
experience
versione?
with this new version. Would
voto
you
gli
say that
diamo?
the game benefited from
Che
allowing
voto gli
you
diamo
more
a questa
choices?
nuova versione?
Feel free to be
4?
honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Ok.
Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Clearly there's something here that
Dai,
speaks
dai,
to you.
va bene.
If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark.
Vabbè,
But
però
I
è
guess
già
you're
un buon
into it, so
tentativo.
let's keep this party
Proviamo-
train rolling.
proviamo a continuare,
Here,
dai.
based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version.
Vai.
To be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one.
Vai, non
Let's
vedo
take a
l'ora.
look.
La leaderboard. Che rotta. Ah no. Bellissima la leaderboard. E io dove sono? Mussolini, come scusa? No, vabbè, dai. 7 ore e 36. No, dai, non così tanto. Ah, proprio ultimo. Vabbè, dai, poteva andare peggio. Poteva andare peggio. Si può sempre migliorare.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Onestamente no. Voi che dite, chat? Io direi 3. Perché era bello, ma non era più bello. Quindi io direi 3.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and
Ah,
now would
sì?
be a lovely opportunity to
Dai,
give it some
figo.
playtesting.
Dai,
You
proviamo,
wouldn't mind taking a
proviamo.
look at it, would you?
Sì, proviamo,
Perfect.
proviamo.
Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life.
Incredibile.
I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Spoiler. Se lo fate davvero per 4 ore, dà un achievement. Vabbè, dai, no. Oh no, non ce l'ho fatta. Dai, invece ce l'ho fatta. Dai, è così difficile. Oh no, ho
You
perso.
heartless bastard.
No, è
Did you do it
difficile.
because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
La
Because
prima
if
che hai
it's the latter,
detto.
well, I don't know what to do. I'm
No,
completely
la
out of
prima
ideas.
che hai
I
detto.
can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me.
Ma come?
I'm not
No,
even
dai,
going to
dai,
try.
qualcosa
I'm
ti
out.
viene in mente.
I'm out. I'm done.
No, no, no.
It's over.
Dai.
Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable.
no.
Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game?
Ma
Just to
no, ma
ease
non
the
ti
pain.
preoccupare.
Let's see. What do we have here?
Dai, cosa abbiamo qui, dai?
Yes. This seems like it'll work.
Cosa mi
Let's
vuoi
give
far
it a
giocare
shot.
adesso? Cosa giochiamo? Dai.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory?
Questo prima non
What is our
c'era.
motivation?
Questo è Firewatch. Questo
Well,
prima
it
non
seems
c'era.
obvious to me that you are meant to play as a
Faceva fare un altro
creepy man
gioco.
spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far,
Prima o
I
poi
love
devo giocare
everything about
Firewatch
this game,
comunque.
Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what
Sì.
else is out there.
Vediamo. Suona mira familiare. Beh, niente di che. Cioè, un walking simulator. Come il tuo gioco, no? Sono andato alla parte sbagliata, ok. Dicevamo.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
Perché?
It is. It's an open world game.
An open
Good
world.
God, quickly, block it off.
No.
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here.
Va
Let's
bene,
find another
troviamo un altro
game.
gioco,
Preferably
d'accordo.
something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Ok.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing. Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Controllerò anche. Ok.
Okay, so what exactly do...
Aspetta, stai zitto. Perché, raga, nell'originale erano diversi. Ora mi controllo quali giochi erano. Ok.
we do
Ok,
here? Let's see.
ok.
There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here.
C'è una
Is
palla?
this game sports ball?
Dov'è la
Stanley,
palla?
I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun.
Oh, sì,
We shall run the
sports
bases
ball.
and do a touchdown together.
Sì,
Yes, I think surely we must.
va bene.
Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun. Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is
Sì,
it better than my
è
miserable little story
divertentissimo.
that I worked so hard on?
Yeah, ho fatto
Stanley, I
gol.
have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw
Sì,
adrenal pleasure,
dammene di
then
più.
surely multiple balls
Posso anche-
makes for
ti
an
prego.
even more euphoric sports experience.
Ci hanno pensato.
I'm going to try it out. Here
Dimmi
comes
che ci
another
hanno
ball.
pensato. Dimmi che ci hanno... No.
Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls.
Quante? Ah, troppe. Troppe.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley?
Sì, questo è un vero
Is this a
videogioco.
real video game?
Sì.
Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over.
No.
That's right. Your little fun comes to an
Mi
end.
stavo
This is my
divertendo.
game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either.
Ma
So,
no, ma io
goodbye,
voglio
Stanley.
giocare con te.
I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Hold on. What are you doing?
Ho fatto gol.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Beh, che dire. Oh. Familiare questo posto. È stranamente familiare questo posto, non trovate? Mi ricorda qualcosa. Che strano. Davvero strano. Davvero strano. 425. 4... What?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice.
Abbastanza.
And if he's learned the heavy
Ho
cost that
ritrovato il mio
comes with it.
ufficio.
He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me.
Bisogna...
Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Questo bottone dello skip è davvero potente. E abbiamo finito un altro... Abbiamo trovato un altro ending. Perché vi stavo dicendo quelle cose? Nel gioco originale... Nel gioco originale... C'erano Minecraft e Portal al posto di Firewatch e Rocket League. E quindi io volevo fare il finale di Minecraft. E quando tu hai scritto la porta di Minecraft, ho detto cazzo, spoiler. E quindi niente, bellissimo, bellissimo.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bastardo. Quelli dell'input, è vero. Facciamo un'altra run normale. Allora, Ota, ci sei?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ota Meggers, ci sei? È il tuo momento. Questa è una Otamega waiting room. Otamakers waiting room. Aspettiamo che Ota ci dica dove andare, perché beh, vabbè, niente, scammati da Otamega, non ho parole.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
How about no?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Buonanotte, raga.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Melos.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Beh, ho voglia.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story
Ma perché? Dai, povero
I never would have
ripostiglio.
thought to mention it.
Vabbè, ogni tanto capita.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path.
Sì.
Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
No, non è vero. O forse è vero.
Well, I've
Infatti,
come to
non
a
lo
very
conosciamo,
definite
Stanley.
conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
Oh no.
You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area
Fatto un capo che
and
attraversava la
instruct
collina
another
di
to take their place, making sure they understand
Io
basic
crevo lo stessi mettendo per
first-person
non
video
fare i
game
messaggi
mechanics
ripetuti.
and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
È vero, hai ragione. Ha ragione.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee
Ma se
you can't do
torno?
any worse than the person who came before
Se
you.
torno?
You too.
Lo
Unbelievable.
sapevo.
I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Perché il primo è morto e quindi questo è il secondo giocatore che sta giocando. Si è completamente arreso.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No. Anzi, sì, volevo fare un'altra cosa. Vabbè, questa sappiamo già
Here's
come
the
fa.
door, just go.
Sì, infatti. Overwatch a che punto siamo? 75. Un'ora e ce l'ho fatta. E ho la beta di Overwatch 2. Allora,
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
sì? No, è per... mi sono messo in background una live che dà i drop di
The door behind him was not shut.
Twitch.
Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around
gli
and get
accessi
back
alla
on
beta.
track.
Se la guardi per 4 ore.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Ma infatti non le ho guardate le live, cioè ho mutato la scheda e fanculo. Ma non dovevo morire. Bro.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Beh, raga, è stato bello. Ciao.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Who's that?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Benvenuti.
When every
Al
path you can walk has
museo!
been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Gli uffici. Questo è vecchio, non è new content. Le porte, i computer, i pulsanti. Tutti i crediti. Non hai mai visto il museo? È una delle cose più belle. Zona di guerra. Ci sono tutti i segreti di sviluppo. Che bello. Vabbè, questi sono spoiler. Questi sono spoiler di altri finali. Vedi qua le possibilità che hai e ti portano a finali diversi. questa. Zending non ci siamo stati. The Game is Done Pod, quello bello. Questo è il finale quando sei libero. L'ufficio del capo che può variare in base a... Ah no, scusa, fasi di sviluppo. Mind Control.
Now look closely, Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room. Perfect example of poor level design. Textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively if you had even the most fundamental understanding.
Sì, ma è da prima che la prossima run la deve fare Ota. E poi mi ha detto che aveva la giustifica, quindi non poteva. Ha usato la sua scusa. Don't worry. Tanto comunque questa live non sarà lunga. Tutti gli uffici 427. L'ascensore, la libertà. Oh!
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two.
Posso
You can
salvarmi?
stop the program before they both fail.
Ah sì?
Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice.
No.
Whatever you do, choose it. Don't
No.
let time choose
Non
for
posso
you.
uscire dal gioco, non può... Beh, che dire. Beh, che dire.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone.
Questo è leggermente
Finally.
diverso.
This is great, he thought to himself.
Potevi uscire dal
This
gioco.
is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Stanley è finalmente da solo. Un new content lo vorrei fare.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Che sta voglia.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Stavolta
Feeling a wave
voglio
of disbelief,
andare.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close
in effetti.
automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were
ragione.
starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
mi sa
No,
di
Stanley
sì.
said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He
sì?
just hadn't found the words for it.
Quali sono le
I'm
parole?
dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone.
sto
He wasn't
sognando.
going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while
godiamocela,
I'm still
sì.
lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
Quale?
Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and
Hai
thinking?
ragione.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too, surely,
Sta
if he
iniziando
could just...
a
He would
a
prove it. He
dissociare.
would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Va tutto bene.
I am okay.
Ok.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me
Cosa?
up. My name
Ah,
is Stanley.
aiuto.
I have a boss. I have an office. I am
Aiuto.
real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be
Aiuto.
real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice?
Ah.
Who am I?
Ah.
Who am I?
Ah!
And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane.
Povera
I
Mariella.
am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what
Però
isn't.
vedi, lei
It
lo
was
sa.
comforting to think this,
Lei lo
and in
sa.
a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled
C'è una
for that
riunione.
day, the very
ora
important
di
people
andare.
whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life.
Ha
She
ragione.
had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Andiamo via. I milanesi essere il tipo. Che video è? Oh no 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 no, musica. Però ok, rido comunque. Allora, facciamo un new
All of his
content.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Copyright infringement. Dov'è il computer con coso rosa? Qua.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Io mi ricordo, c'era una scrivania in cui ti potevi non glitchare, era fatta di proposito e ti potevi buttare alla finestra. Però forse più avanti. Boh, io evito. Cioè, nel senso, in realtà non me ne frega niente. Cioè, non mi fanno nulla. Però vabbè, cioè, la canzone già la conosciamo. Dai, facciamo un new
You
content.
notice my sign? Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
E poi è un casino coi volumi. Evito principalmente quello. Dai, non vedo l'ora di fare il new content.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley
Ah,
parable
sì?
and about how roundly disappointing this ultra
un po'.
deluxe version has turned out to be.
Onestamente
The
un po'.
original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So
sì,
forget this
certo.
ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the
Cos'è?
Stanley Parable 2.
What?
Yes,
Ah.
you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new
ragione.
territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Beh, andiamo allo showcase allora. Taste the sequel 2.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Bell'ufficio che avete. Two Doors. New content parte 2. Old and busted. New hotness. Cool red section. Just the two of us. More Stanley Parable. Better Stanley Parable. È una win-win. 1, 2. Belli logo. Grazie per essere venuti ai miei meeting. Beh,
Now, to be
tutto qui.
clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a hand...
Acciughe salate, acciughe sardelle, tutte salmonate, salmone, capparosoli, risotto, a nero di seppia, spaghetti all'aragosta.
Non so perché ho tutte le transizioni buggate che
full of
glitchano,
interesting
vabbè.
concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Oh! New features, new content. Beh, non hai ma un tram. C'è un autobus. Expo 2, giustamente.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Pazzesco. Hanno anche il merch. Il tuo nome. No, vabbè. No, vabbè, incredibile.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and
grande,
most
troppo
obvious
piccolo.
answer is that they want to be individually recognized and
sì.
validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the
Pazzesco.
game. Isn't that wonderful?
Dai, proviamolo.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name.
Ok,
whatever
ok.
name that is.
Mi piace, mi
Here,
piace.
let's have you roll
esatto,
play as
facciamo
Jim
finta di
to
essere
really
Jim.
simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll
Ok,
love
ok,
it.
siamo Jim.
Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever
Clear
you
your
are, and
mind.
simply become a person named
free.
Jim. I want you to imagine yourself.
Jim.
Whoa,
Oh,
hold
Jim,
on. I
Jim,
wasn't
Jim.
finished setting up the
Scusami.
backstory. If you
Scusami,
don't
non
properly
volevo.
roleplay as Jim,
Hai ragione,
then
hai
you'll
ragione.
never understand the impact of this
ragione.
button.
Io
Otherwise,
nei
it's just a
manchi.
stupid button that says somebody else's
Hai
name.
ragione, scusami,
Okay,
scusami,
we're doing
scusami.
it again, and this time let me finish first.
Va bene, mi siedo, mi siedo.
Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as
Vabbè,
Jim,
sì, perché io sono
developing a
Jim.
crippling substance addiction as Jim,
Ok, può capitare,
rediscovering
può
yourself
capitare.
through fringe religious groups as
È
Jim,
successo a
and
tutti almeno una
finally
volta.
dying a slow death at an old age, surrounded by members of your cult.
È il
as
modo
Jim.
migliore.
Do you feel it in your soul? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Sono Jim.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Pazzesco.
Yes, you see?
Pazzesco.
What a thrill, what a rush. That
Cioè,
was
come
you.
che l'avesse detto a
The
me
button
davvero.
described you. Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time.
Incredibile.
If this were the only new
Incredibile.
feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would
Varrebbe
still
il
be
prezzo.
worth the
Sì,
money.
sì, sì.
Let's take a break
Sì.
from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from
Troppo.
all of this personal
Troppo,
validation.
Cioè, sono io, è incredibile, sta parlando di me. Pazzesco. Lo voglio sentire di nuovo.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be
okay.
too much, Jim.
Ok,
I'm
troppo,
putting the Jim
troppo.
button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Va bene. Così Jim che quasi mi sento Jim Carrey. Anche. Ok, cosa...
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Un nuovo ufficio. Ma niente. Chi ha il telefono? Il bambino è cresciuto! Il cerchio del salto, sì! Se non faccio uno screenshot. Non sembra troppo interessato. Ah, uno screenshot. No. Non gliene frega niente. No, ma questa cosa non screenshot è un memino che hanno fatto. Mi fa morire che qua c'è l'interferenza. C'è qualcuno col cellulare. Anche qui vedi uno screenshot. È un memino che hanno fatto in pre-release. Il secchio rassicurante. Andiamo al secchio rassicurante.
A common complaint of the Stanley parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game.
Vai.
It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see,
Bellissimo.
Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense
Okay.
of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart.
Okay.
It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the
Secchio.
many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps
Okay.
even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be?
Sì, in effetti.
the bucket is the perfect solution.
Perfetta.
Come on, give it a try.
Vediamo il secchio.
Can you feel it? The glow
Sì.
of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Ci sta,
I think
ci
that just
sta.
holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Bellissimo.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more
Sento proprio
awaits you
rasserenato.
in the Stanley Parable too.
Bravissimi. Vabbè, ma lo posso portare appresso? The
Does
button
anyone
that
give out
says
awards
Jim.
for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Ah, io voglio andare al cerchio del salto, che... I collezionabili. Un achievement nuovo. Sì. Free achievement. Sì.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well,
Sì.
I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Allora, background. Nell'originale c'è un achievement impossibile da prendere che si chiama achievement e non puoi prenderlo. Cioè, è letteralmente solo quello.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we
Allora,
seen yet?
il cerchio... Ecco, il cerchio del salto.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait.
Ah, ma li ho
You
già
already
usati
spent all
tutti.
your jumps the first time we saw
Oh,
the jump
no.
circle. Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Sì, è carino. Va bene. Quindi i collezionabili. Collezionabili, incredibile. Can you find them? Them. Collect them.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
Perfetto.
I don't want to stifle the
Come i
intrinsic
giochi
joy of
moderni.
watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Incredibile. Non devo urlare.
God, it really is
Non
the
devo
worst when you
urlare.
collect everything in a video game
Non
and
devo
then they give
urlare.
you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely
No, non mi
tragic.
sono cagato. Però stavo per urlare dalle risate. E devo resistere. Perché se no urlo male. Ah, vediamo il buco infinito. Ah, qua ci sono altri screenshot segreti.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you
12°
go with?
compleanno, tutta la vita 12° compleanno.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Ok. Va bene.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Ok, va bene. Dicevamo, andiamo al buco infinito. Capisco. Educational use. Ok. E questo?
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right.
Pazzesco.
Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of
No,
time.
sto
if
cazzo
you like.
scivolato.
A stunning leap forward for video games is a medium.
Sono scivolato.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious
Bellissimo.
concoctions, if I do say so.
In
Now
effetti-
then, since you've gotten to see the infinite
e adesso
hole,
che faccio?
you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top,
Qual
and
è
we
il
can
te-
continue onward.
Ok. Qua palese se stai, 20 minuti.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Ma sì. Vediamo se ha un'altra linea di dialogo, poi basta.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good
bene.
for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling.
In effetti, sì, è una
What
cosa che mi
normal
piace
person
fare
actually wants
spesso.
to fall infinitely. I figured
uno
the
che
hole
gioca
was as deep
Portal,
as anyone would
probabilmente.
actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Oh, ma perché dobbiamo litigare?
Look,
Oh,
things
stai
got a little
calmo.
heated there. I
Eh.
think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole most
Quasi pressoché infinito, va
If
bene.
that works for you, then go
D'accordo.
ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Va bene.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for this. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the
sì,
hole
era
seem
meno.
even shorter to you this time? I couldn't
più
help but feel
corto.
like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole.
Hai
I
ragione.
didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where...
È sempre più
Wow.
corto.
Okay. Yeah.
Vedi, ti sto
I'm
aiutando a
starting
fare
to become
qualcosa.
extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole
no, non
infinitely deep,
funziona.
even by the lax overall standards for
Del
accountability and
marketing.
marketing. What's going on here?
No, non
Stanley,
va bene.
I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top,
Ok,
and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
va bene.
Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Rotto.
Is the, teleport button not working?
Sì.
You sure?
Sì.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was still nothing. Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
No.
You couldn't bear to be away from the hole. And now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone.
Perché?
You get to be with the hole. I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Ma no. Va bene. Ciao buco, come va? Che mi racconti? Oh! Che sta succedendo? Che succede? Cos'è tutto questo casino? Cos'è? Cos'è? Voglio andarmene da qui. Il buco!
My head's stronger. You're no longer.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley!
Sì?
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting
sì?
away into dreamland. But we can't have that.
I am error.
Because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You
Okay.
don't want to miss a single moment.
Hai
So
ragione.
how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole.
Perché ho
And
finito
I'm
i
looking forward
salti,
to
eh.
all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
Ciao. Uh. What?
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Allora, io in realtà credo di aver fatto tutto. No, ma comunque i salti non li puoi fare in realtà lì, li puoi fare solo nel cerchio. Allora, jump circle, this mop. Settings were champion. No, alcune cose non le fa. Però sono di qua. Merch. Bottone che dice gym. Free achievement l'ho fatto. Il bucket. Qua c'era l'epilogo, giusto? Direi che è il momento di fare l'epilogo.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Ah, ecco, il campione del mondo di... Ah, qua c'erano delle scale, ok. Il campione del mondo di impostazioni. È chiuso. Mannaggia. Vediamo se mi dice qualcos'altro sull'epilogo. No. Jim, c'è ancora? Dici che potrebbe esserci. No, ma c'era anche prima. No, non mi pare ci sia niente di speciale. Allora, Jim se n'è andato? Cioè, questo è rimasto uguale? Sì. Non capisco cosa mi sto perdendo. Forse me ne devo tipo andare. No, non posso. Merch. Bello. Ah, qua c'è... Forse devo restituire il secchio. Ma no, non me l'ha fatto... Cioè, credo che il meme sia proprio che l'hai preso e te lo tieni. Sì, infatti non posso fare niente. Il QR code me lo sono perso. Ora controllo. Ah, non l'avevo visto. Ora vediamo. StanleyParable2.com. E c'è un video che ci potremmo guardare. Facciamo così, dai, guardiamolo. StanleyParable2.com. Perché è tutto tagliato? Ah no, non è così. Allora. Ma dura 10 minuti.
Say there, Timmy. What's that you're enjoying? Why, it's breakfast, of course. Everyone loves breakfast. But did you know that breakfast is getting a sequel? That's right. It's called Lunch. And critics are raving that lunch will be everything breakfast was and more. With a little Liz developing its own name very fast fritter over. Hunk of a man who's responsible. Gregory, go ahead and take the rest of the personal information, including home address, being the original Stanley Parable. Here, and so for the sequel, its developers have gone to Great Parable 2. You'll receive this Dracula once unknowable beyond.
Oh no, Billy è morto. Ok. Taste the sequel. Ok, va bene. Io non so cosa fare. È morto a 3 anni, sì, mi dispiace. Qua c'è ancora sto cazzo di telefono. Exit. È tipo qua. Allora, sì, collezionabili sono là. A sinistra. Uscita, eccola. Oh, anche più nascosta.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted
Sì.
to? Ready to move on now?
Sì, sono pronto. Niente screenshot.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but
Sono
I
abbastanza
can feel it in my
soddisfatto.
soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll
Ma questo è un
arrange these
buco
new
infinito.
features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay.
Pronto.
Are you ready?
Prontissimo.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, beh.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's
Notevole.
sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement.
Dai, dai, dai.
Yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Beh, ci sono 2 buchi,
Who am I
però.
kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I
E il
do very
jump
much
circle
enjoy
è nel
creating
buco.
gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original.
Esatto,
Wait.
esatto. Non è
Maybe that's
difficile.
it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features
Va
in
bene.
it. Tastefully, of course.
Tipo?
With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game.
Mi piace.
Would it possibly work? I suppose it
Secondo
could.
me sì.
But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title
tipo-
screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, this is the Stanley Parable 2.
Sì,
Let me see if I can whip something up.
vai.
All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he
Set
pushed
game
buttons.
Stanley Parable 2.
Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk.
Però è la
telling him
stessa
what
cosa.
buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Felicissimo.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Cosa è successo?
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
Che cosa?
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation.
something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Il sequel è in pausa. No, che palle, io
Stanley
volevo
decided to go to
chiudere.
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, please.
No, l'ho
Are
già
you really
fatto,
just doing this for the
hai ragione.
achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement
No,
is
no,
worth?
no, no, no,
no.
no.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Non c'è il new content. No, ci ho già provato, non sono interagibili. Qua non c'è il new content perché siamo il new content.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was coming to a staircase. Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Ok, Stanley è sempre...
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication
Il codice
of
sarà
anything
diverso
like.
qua, già lo so.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation,
Esatto.
Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even
Male
now,
che c'è il
in his
secchio.
darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Sì, è il secchio. Overwatch 93. Quanto mi manca? Mancava tipo 10
The elevator
minuti.
raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing
che ha
him,
volontà propria da
comforting
suggerire
him,
codice, sì.
reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Va bene.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with
Però
television
sembra tutto
screens.
uguale
What
comunque. Cioè
horrible
la
secret
storia è
did
la
this place
stessa.
hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to
Mi aspettavo
themselves.
qualche differenza in più. Ma qua posso comunque cadere. Ma non lo farò. Io comunque l'avrei indossato come cappello anch'io.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock.
Se è tutto
Everyone
uguale.
in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst
No,
into
tranquillo.
tears as Stanley cradled it gently,
Tranquillo.
reassuring it that everything would be
Il
fine.
secchio. Noi siamo lì. Ah no, noi siamo 427. Vabbè, stica.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket.
No!
He couldn't accept it.
Non può
His own
accettarlo.
life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Il secchio. Solo il secchio, solo il secchio.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and
Adesso tipo
commanded
il
from this
secchio si
very place.
ribella e
And as
attiva
the
la power
cold reality of
facility.
his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its...
E ora fuggiamo con il...
Stanley and
Il
the bucket
secchio.
waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
Madonna.
True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
Oh no,
What?
si è bloccata,
Wait,
fra.
what
No,
was
no,
happening?
no, no.
Why had the door stopped?
Si è bloccata.
Was Stanley and the bucket not about
No.
to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty,
E adesso...
until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No.
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no.
No.
Stanley
No,
can't
no,
leave
no,
this
no.
place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the
Almeno
bucket.
abbiamo il secchio,
To be
sì.
trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley
Mai
thought to
più.
himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley
Sì.
gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
No. Signori, il sequel è in pausa e per oggi perché l'hai fatto, Ota? Se tu ce l'avevi già, me lo spieghi? Perché? Hai dovuto farlo se ce l'avevi già. A me manca poco perché io in realtà ho avuto dei problemi. Gabri! Oh! Ti sembra ora? Io ho avuto dei problemi all'inizio e quindi... No, ma non danno codici, Ota. E non è un codice, è come la mail, ti danno l'accesso e basta. Io sono al 96%, perché appunto all'inizio avevo avuto un problema e quindi ho iniziato tipo 5 minuti in ritardo. No, abbassa la qualità, grazie. E quindi appunto mi manca il 4%. Tornato ora a casa, dai. Come va, Gabri? Che è da tanto, è da tanto. Cioè, non è da tanto in generale, però. Cos'è il 4% di 4 ore? Allora, se il 25% è un'ora. 25 diviso 5 è il 5% ed è 60 diviso 5 fa... Aiuto. 3 12 hai ragione. 60 diviso 5 è 3. 60 diviso 20 fa 3. 12, quindi è un sacco. A me manca il 3%. Quindi sono tipo 5 minuti. E la luce flickera. Ci guardiamo in faccia per per 5 minuti. Le signore... Ah, mettiamo già chatting prima di tutto. Cosa sono le signore baresi? Ma non è che magari tipo... Acciughe salate 1 hour edition, anche. Ah, quel... Sì, no, ho capito. Credo di aver capito.
Per il cenone della vigilia frutti di mare, primo a base di pesce l'immancabile anguilla. Per il giorno di Natale la tradizione
Schifo!
barese vuole che a tavola ci sia un piatto a base di brodo di carne, ma c'è anche chi preferisce il ragù. Ecco il menù delle feste natalizie raccontato dai baresi.
Gli spaghetti con le anguille
Stasera.
domani il brodo, e
il
dopodomani il
26
26 pasta al forno, lasagna, l'agnello, domani il brodo, i carciofi fritti, gli antipasti, il solito.
No, non è vero. Di solito a Bari fanno al contrario, fanno prima la carne, l'ultimo giorno di festa fanno il brodo.
26.
26, sì, dovrebbe
26,
funzionare così.
ok.
Invece il 25?
Carne.
Ragù, quindi la pasta con ragù e la carne.
Ok.
Dovrebbe funzionare in questo modo qua.
Più o meno stesse portate anche al ristorante.
Per stasera ovviamente è un menù a base di pesce. Per domani qui c'è una doppia alternativa. Per i baresi c'è quello che fa il brodo, il famoso brodo di tacchino di carne, o la lasagna alternata al ragù. Quindi ovviamente si prosegue sempre sulla base di carne con antipasti di salumi, eccetera.
E per finire c'è chi la tradizione non la rispetta.
Ma tu vuoi sentire la verità?
E sentiamola.
Io mi
Il
prendo
pesce
la
non me lo
pizza.
mangio, lo schifo.
Oh, bravo,
quindi?
anche a me non
Il
piace.
bene dei bambini, schifo il pesce.
E quindi?
Faccio la minestra, il riso con il burro, è meglio.
Buono.
Il riso con il burro. La
Ma
notte
che
di
buono
Natale.
il riso
È
con il
meglio.
burro.
E domani?
Domani, panzerotti,
Brodo.
va.
Oh sì, ti prego.
Qual è il menù tipico di Pasqua per la
No, vabbè. Se dobbiamo mettere una YouTube poop barese, mettiamo questa. Che cioè, pugliese.
Aglio, cipolla, olla, certi vecchi antichi zucchini, certi vecchi antichi zucchini, certi vecchi antichi zucchini, certi vecchi antichi. Ci metto le patate formaggi, pepe, prezzemolo. Patate formaggi, pepe, prezzemolo. Patate formaggi, pepe, prezzemolo. Patate formaggi, pepe, prezzemolo. Certi vecchi antichi, certi vecchi antichi, certi vecchi antichi.
Bellissimo,
Certi
bellissimo.
vecchi antichi.
Questa è arte. Che poi fa ridere anche quello originale.
Aglio, cipolla, prezzemolo, pomodoro, sale
Pomodori.
e olio. Poi si mette le patate, formaggi, pepe e prezzemolo. Poi ci mettiamo una manciata di riso. Che
Di
il riso
riso?
va dentro alla cosa.
Ah,
E la
gozza.
zucchina, vedi? Non metto la zucchina. Certi vecchi antichi ci
Certi?
mettiamo le uova in mezzo.
Le
E poi
uova?
si mette a cuocere.
E vedi che ti mangi.
E vedi che ti mangi.
È una cosa mondiale.
Cioè, è una roba pazzesca.
Oh, è pronto. Beh, annuncio.
Anoush. 98% qua siamo. Mancano... Puglia. Top 10 cosa vedere in Puglia assolutamente. Io vi avrei fatto vedere volentieri un video meme nostro, però c'è uno slur e quindi avrei eviterei onestamente. Ah, vabbè.
Guardalo. Che figlio di puttana.
Che ridere questo video. Porca puttana. Guardalo. Che figlio di puttana.
Mamma santa, quanto è grosso. Incredibile. Ma tu vedi un po'. Impressionante.
È impressionante. Vabbè,
Comunque 3 giorni fa
questo è
dovevo stendermi le lenzuola con la biancheria.
Questa è a Cagliari,
A un
però
certo
non è
punto
da
mi
me,
vedo
questa è
3
Cagliari.
gabbiani proprio che mi aggredivano con le zampe davanti, col becco. E ho dovuto chiudere subito e portarmi la roba dentro perché sennò
Aspetta, raga. Cagliaritano si perde nel bosco. Questo merita.
Kuna mamarua. Tau. La foresta dei cazzi volanti, no. C'è, i coltelli. Sono esattamente le 3:26 e mi sono appena preso in mezzo al nulla. Mi sta venendo questa crisi potente. Oh. Che nervoso. Là, oggi ti cerco. È tutto spina, porco Giuda. Non riesco a trovare una via per tornare da dove cazzo ne sono arrivato. Io vado dove il cuore mi porta. Mi sa che ci sono, cazzo. Mi sa che ci sono. Dove sono? Mi sono allontanato più del solito e non so dove minca sono, se cazzo è un iedo. Cioè, ma te ne rendi conto? Minca, ma sta cazzo di cazzo da pacca bara. Oh, Gesù Cristo. Sto sperando di trovare un fiume. Sto iniziando ad avere delle allucinazioni. Ho trovato un'oasi finta. Ho trovato un sentiero, cazzo, ce l'ho fatta. Però non mi rimane che seguire il sentiero. No, ce l'ho fatta, non sto scherzando, è passato un'ora di orologio da quando vi ho detto che ho trovato il sentiero. Il sentiero non è ancora finito. Sono da un'ora, mi sembra che
if il mio ragazzo non fosse di Cagliari.
Tipo la Formula 1, poi giri intorno 100.000 volte. Infatti adesso mi toccherà ricravarmi in mezzo al nulla di nuovo come un cazzo di Bear Grill. Mi sta venendo il panico. Mi sono rassegnato a vivere come Shrek, sarò un Shrek, cazzo. Adesso sono esattamente le 5. No, non riesco ad andarmene da questo posto di merda.
Ho conquistato un drop!
Non lo so.
Riscatta l'oro, vai su inventario, riscatta! Fanculo! Vabbè, avete visto la mia mail, chi se ne frega. E quindi? No, non c'è. E quindi? E quindi? Vabbè, tanto non ci volevo giocare ora, però. Ah, che fastidio. Va bene, stica. Sti granca. Quindi ti possiamo fregare la beta. No, ma non sapete la password. No, ma infatti domani. Tra l'altro, se ho voglia. Perché domani non so se faccio live. Devo vedere se ho impegno oppure no. Perché poi domani mattina devo accompagnare mia madre fuori città. E quindi magari sono stanco. No, allora sicuramente domani, secondo che ora torno a casa, un pochino ci gioco. Così per iniziare a prendere il ritmo. Poi se faccio live probabilmente la faccio su Overwatch. Però non ne sono sicuro. Come al solito è tutto a caso. E se do notizie le do sul Telegram. E quindi ora che ho la beta, domenica 8 megahertz, maratona di 8 megahertz. Ma Kirbino già va avanti, non vi preoccupate. No, non è finitino, mi manca l'ultimo mondo base e poi in teoria c'è il post-game che devo decidere se voglio farlo. Però ecco, la questione era che comunque oggi usciva Stanley Parable, poi c'era questa cosa della beta di Overwatch, quindi questa settimana Kirby era un po' in secondo piano. No, l'ho continuato in live, però non lo sto continuando fuori live, no. Diciamo questa settimana era un po' incasinata, anche col fatto che poi questo fine settimana non sono a casa. Però vabbè, questa settimana un attimo di pausa, anche perché le ultime live sono state solo di Kirby. Però lo continuo. Kirby non è Cuphead, è Celeste, non vi preoccupate. Poi Celeste l'avrei anche continuato, però avendo trovato altro da giocare, Celeste avevo già giocato, preferivo fare un po' di varietà. Io mi prenderò tutte le della prossima settimana. No, Cuphead deve morire. Vabbè, io torno a casa il primo, però appunto allora è pranzo. Poi c'è la maratonata, ma poi io la domenica non faccio live perché non posso. Poi la settimana dopo vediamo, come al solito. È probabile che la prossima settimana farò, non dico live tutti i giorni, però è possibile, non è da escludere. Un solo giorno sono già sicuro che salta, però ne parleremo settimana prossima. Ragazzi, ragazze and everything in between, grazie mille a tutti per... No, tranquilli. Non sparirò per 5 mesi, al massimo per 2 settimane. No, non è vero. Grazie mille a tutti per la compagnia e per il divertimento. Noi ci vediamo la prossima volta, forse domani.